Hello everyone, this is Shaylin with Candy Kaleidoscope and the chocolate chip. I'm back tonight to show you all how to make these amazing cakesicles. So we have two different styles that I'm going to be teaching you how to do tonight. We have the more realistic looking one here that looks like a cookies and cream ice cream. And then we have the really girly version that I love right here to the side for the birthday parties and everything that's trending now. Either style will go perfectly, and they're really easy to make, and they're really yummy. Okay, and this one also here on the right hand side, the girly version is also featuring our ice cream sprinkles that will be available tomorrow on our Etsy store. So if you need these, you can definitely get them, and they're ready to go today. Okay, so this is not going to be a long class. It's fairly short, but you know, it's really easy and it's really fun. Okay, so the very first thing that I'm going to do is tell you what we need as far as our supplies, and then I'm going to jump right into it. The very first thing you need is your mold, and this comes from Wild Time Studios. You can actually find them on Etsy, and I will let you know in the group where to buy all of these supplies. So I have two of them that I purchased for two different reasons. One reason is because I actually manipulated them. One of them, meaning I cut the bottom section so that a treat stick will fit down into my mold so that it actually makes a cakesicle. So this wasn't actually made like this. I had to create my own, and sometimes I have to do that with molds. If you can't find something you're looking for, you just have to do it yourself. So I just cut that so that it'll sit there, and that way you can pick it up and display it on your treat tables. And I bought a second one just like it that you can use as well. It's the same exact mold. I did not cut out the bottom, and that is just in case I decide I don't want to put these on the stick. I just want to put them in a box and leave them as is. Either way is perfectly fine. Okay, so, and this mold was about $8 at Wild Time Studios. Okay, so we have our mold, and then you will need the sprinkles. Like I said, you can find these on our website tomorrow on my Etsy store. And then you're also going to need your bling stick, your chocolate, and of course I'm using my own. I'm going to do a peach one version just to show you how to do it. And then I have, for the chocolate part of my cone, I have my chocolate, and I have a coffee colored one here as well. I'm not sure if which one I'm going to use, but I just have all of them melted just in case. I also have my toppings for my ice cream. So we have sprinkles, and for the realistic ones, guess what? You can do anything that you want. Just think of ice cream and the toppings that you like on your ice cream, and that's exactly what you can use. But I just want to say this, even though I have nuts in my bowl, I have a cookie Oreo crumble here, and I did put some pistachios in there because I know a lot of the sundaes and everything have that. But you have to remember, if you're doing this for a customer, you have to remember that some kids have allergies, like peanut allergies and nuts. So make sure you always ask before you use any kind of nuts on any of your treats. We don't want anything to happen to anyone, okay? So, for example, if you like pistachios or strawberry ice cream, you could have did like pink ice cream with some freeze-dried strawberries on top, or some kind of cute little crumble. Okay, so I think that's everything that we have as far as our supplies. And I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate how to do this. This is not going to be a long video at all. I'm going to take away these two, and I'll bring them back at the end to show you our finished product. Okay, so the very first thing that we want to do is we want to get our mold. And like I said, I did cut a little insert with scissors just so that my treat stick will just sit there nicely. Now, another thing I learned as I was using this is you don't have to cut this in there. Once you fill this mold, it will just kind of sit right there on top without any issues at all. You'll just have to cover it with a little chocolate, and stick it in the freezer while it's wet, and it will stick. But It's completely up to you. I just like to have that extra security knowing that my stick is not going to go anywhere. Okay, so the very first thing we want to do is take our, let's see, which one I want to do. I'm going to take my coffee coloring chocolate. And if you want to know how to make this color, if you did not take any of the other ice cream classes yet, you just can take a little bit of white, add a little, maybe like 1 drop of brown or 2 drops of brown, and you can get this color. Or you can purchase our chocolate as well in this color. The color is latte. Or you can purchase some food chocolate coloring and color it yourself as well. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is fill this middle part where the ice cream scoop is. And this is actually a 2-step process, but I'm going to show you everything in 1 step, and I'm going to talk you through the 2nd step just for time purposes, just for class purposes. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a very thin layer of our chocolate into the ice cream part of the mold. And then I'm going to shake it around just a little bit, and I'm going to take a spatula or a knife. I'm going to do a plastic knife for this part. And this part is very important because of the way you want your ice cream cone to come out. There's 2 little humps here. There's a hump here and a hump here. You just want to fill those in like you're coloring in a coloring book. And you do not want to go past those 3 little humps. So it's like a hump, and a hump. And you just want to fill them in, okay? And the reason why that's important that you don't go any further than that is because that will bleed into your ice cream cone, and it won't look like a real ice cream cone. It'll look a hot mess. Okay, and now I'm just going to paint up the sides a little. And don't worry if it looks like really ugly in the inside. It doesn't matter, because once it dries, it's going to look really nice. So we're just going to take the extra chocolate, just paint up the sides. I'm going to add a little more. We're not going to just leave it looking crazy like that. We just have to do that first step. Tap it out like this. Paint up the edges. Make sure there's no like spaces or anything. Tap it out. Do not go past that ice cream part, okay? So then at this point, you will stick it in the freezer for about 5 minutes. You want this part to be completely dry, right? Okay, so we're gonna fast forward for class purposes only, because I don't wanna make you wait 5 minutes. We're gonna fast forward and pretend like I stuck this in the freezer 5 minutes and it's ready. So we're gonna take it out, and this part is gonna be completely dry. And you're wondering, well, how do you fill it up? You know, like, why didn't we do the whole thing? You're going to see this is part 2. So make sure this part is completely dry. So the second part of filling this would be to get the actual ice cream part, the cone part. So you can either do like a darker tan, if you want the light brown, khaki colored ice cream cone. Or to me, it looks better with the dark chocolate cones. So you will take the second part and you will fill it up. Just the cone part, just a little. So I'm just going to fill this up. And remember, this is after we've stuck it in the freezer for about 5 minutes, y'all. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to paint it. And it does not matter if this touches this, because this part will be dry already. I'm just going to paint the sides again, because we don't want any gaps. Just like a real cakesicle mold, you want to make sure that your sides are completely covered, because we don't want any cake. If you're going to put Oreos in here, we don't want anything poking out of the sides. Cake, marshmallows, fruit. You can put cheesecake in this. It's completely up to you. Okay, so now that we have this here painted, we will stick it in the freezer a second time for about 5 minutes, okay? So for this second step, after we take it out, all of this is completely dry. So now for step 3, all of this is dry. It's time to fill it. So what I'm going to fill this one with is cake. Now there's 2 ways that you can do this. Me personally, I don't like cake pops when the cake is mixed with the icing and it's really mushy. To me, it's kind of like eating baby food, but you know, everyone has their own preference. Some customers love it, some people don't. So for those who want to mix it into a cake pop consistency, all you would do is get your cake, and I have some here. I'm using store-bought tonight. If you need a cake recipe, I have tons of cake classes that you can purchase, and over 5, 6, 7 different cake recipes. They're really easy to follow and really inexpensive. So if you're going to do a cake pop version, you would just take a slice of cake, crumble it up into a bowl, and then put 1 tablespoon of buttercream in there. And then work it with your hands. Just mush it up, mush it up, mush it up. And then you would take it, that cake pop filling, and then you would just stick it in there. And then just cover it with chocolate. That's all you will have to do. And then you can just place your stick on top at the end. And I'm going to show you that. But instead of doing it that way, like I said, I prefer actual cake. When I bite into mine, I'm just going to put cake in it, okay? So this is an odd shape. There's different ways you can do it. It's like a puzzle. You can definitely just fill it like that. I just took a corner, the little hump, and I made that the top part of the ice cream cone. So now I'm going to take a second piece of the cake. I'm so weird. I don't like the crusty part of cake. Is that weird? Like the outside part? I only like the inside, the inside part of cake. Okay, so now I'm just going to finish filling this shape so that we can make sure that there's going to be a bite of something every time someone bites into it. So if it's an Oreo, you can put like a whole Oreo here and like half an Oreo here. All right, so it's not touching the top. It's not floating all the way to the top. So now at this point, we're going to cover this with chocolate. So let me get my chocolate, and we're just going to fill it with chocolate. And I know I'm blocking the camera. I'm so sorry. Let's turn to the side. And we are covering this with chocolate. Okay. And then we're going to just tap it so it's nice and even. Beautiful on the back, just as it would be on the front. And we're going to take our cake stick, and we're just going to sit it right here. And you can even twirl it a little bit to make sure that, you know, it definitely stays. You can even add a little bit more chocolate there if you like, just for extra security. Don't worry about getting it on the outside, because you can just, you know, break that off once it dries. Okay? And now this is how it looks completed once you filled it and everything. You're going to take this and you're going to stick it in the freezer for about 15 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to hand this to my husband to stick in the freezer. And we don't have to wait 15 minutes, y'all, because I already have one prepared. Just going to wipe this. And we're going to decorate. I actually have 2 prepared, so we're just going to decorate those 2 really quick. I'm going to show you how they look coming out of the mold, how to take it out. And then we are going to trying to keep it clean for y'all. I'm so sorry. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to decorate these. Okay, so let's pretend like we just took it out of the freezer. I'm going to take this, and this is the peach colored one, and it looks a hot mess, right? So we're going to clean up the edges, and we're going to decorate it. And here's another one that I did in the coffee flavored one, kind of like this one. Not flavored, but you could flavor it. I flavor my chocolate all the time. So this one is for this one, and this one is for this one, even though it's a different shade of peach, okay? So we're just going to clean up our edges, and you can do that with a knife, or you can just do it with your hands. You're just breaking off the excess chocolate. I'm going to get a plastic knife this time because I don't want to cut. Yeah, one time I cut myself with the X-Acto knife, and I just hate using it. The only thing that you're doing with the knife is just cleaning up the edges so it looks like a nice sharp ice cream cone, like that. And then same thing at the top, just following the shape of the ice cream, just like that. Okay. And we're going to set that one there. And it's okay if it bled a little bit. That's fine, because real ice cream drips and everything, and that's not a biggie. I'm going to do the same thing with this other one, and I think we're good. Okay, let me just get these crumbs off really quick. And we're going to move to our decorating part. Now, here's the fun part of this. Because you can do anything that you want to do. The possibilities are endless. Okay, so the first one I wanted to do was for a girly version. So I'm going to take my treat drizzle, and you can purchase this from us as well. It comes in 40 different colors. This is just our chocolate in a little 4-ounce bottle. It makes it really easy to work with. So I think my husband already microwaved this for me. So I am just going to squeeze out. I don't think it's dried. Oh, here it comes. Okay. Just squeeze out a little bit around the edges because I'm going to use this like glue. And I'm just going to follow the shape all the way around. Let me open it up some more. It's been a minute, so I think it might be cooling down, but that's okay. Okay. So just some glue. And this is, sometimes it's a mess to use these sprinkles. So I'm just going to grab like a little sheet of paper behind me just to grab my excess. And I'm just going to put some sprinkles on here. You can do it neatly. Obviously, I'm doing it messy because I just don't, you know, I'm not, sometimes I'm really particular, but right now I'm not. I'm just trying to make them stick, okay? And you just follow the curve of the chocolate. And they will roll everywhere. Just grab them. But make sure they're on a clean surface. Like if they roll like off the table and stuff, do not use them. I know I don't have to tell y'all this. It's self-explanatory. But sometimes when I do stuff in class, people are like, oh my God, did you see her grab that? And stuff. Yeah, my chocolate's starting to dry. So you got to work really fast. And I'm just going to, if your chocolate does dry, just take a little bit. I have a bowl full over here while my husband is melting my treat drizzle again. And I'm just going to place this on here all the way around. Try to get some of that sand in there too. And that's what you do. You just place your sprinkles where you want them, okay? And some of them are rolling off, so. And that's fine because this is not, I'm holding it at an angle to show y'all. And they're just rolling off. They just have their own mindset going right now. And I'm just going to see if you lay it down, it's easier. Okay. So, and then for my cherry, the only thing I did was just grab one of my red sparkly sprinkles. And I just put a dab of glue at the back of it. Glue, chocolate, y'all, not glue, but they do make edible glue, but chocolate to me is the best glue. And I just stick my little edible cherry on top, which is just a sparkle glitter bead in one of my mixes, and ta-da, there you go right there. And we have the girly version of the ice cream. Now you can go in even more detail and put like a number 2 or something right there like I did on this one. Or you can even add a bow on top once you get done decorating and everything. Like that. Aren't these really cute? Okay, now for the realistic looking ice cream, let's take away these sprinkles. We got sprinkles everywhere. Okay, so for this realistic looking ice cream, which I love, because I tricked my kids. Oh my God, I gotta tell y'all this really quick. I took the ice cream cone into the room where my kids was, and I gave it to them, and they were so excited because they thought they were getting ice cream. And then they licked it, and they were so disappointed. They were like, oh man, like we thought that was real. Yeah, this is a really good way to trick your kids also. So the same way, we're just gonna add a little chocolate. Make sure it's the same color as the actual ice cream scoop or scoop ice cream. Okay, doesn't matter if it looks a little busy because we're gonna just cover it in some kind of toppings. And for the Oreos, we're using real Oreos. And like I said, you can definitely use anything that you want. It's gonna be a little messy. Ain't no way to be cute about this. Just add your toppings on there. And I'm at an angle because I'm trying to show y'all. You know what? It's sticking to these gloves. I'm trying to get the gloves so that I can keep my area clean, but they just don't want to work with me. Okay. You can put as much as you like or however little as you like. It's completely up to you. And if it starts to dry, just dip it in chocolate again, and there you go. Let it sit for about 5 minutes so it's completely dry. I think I have a gap right here. And then that's it. And you can also add a bow on this one. Let it dry completely before you move it. And then you kind of tilt it to the side to let the extra fall off like that. And then you can even still put a bow on these and they'll still look amazing on your ice cream table, okay? Don't these look amazing? It just won't make you take a bite out of it. Okay, so these I will individually wrap. And you can also put like the little cherry on top like I did this one. These I would individually wrap and then I would put my bow on them. And I would definitely sell these 12 for $45. You can even do 12 for $55, depending on what you're putting inside of it. It doesn't even matter what you put inside of it. These are definitely worth between $45 and $55 a dozen. Just because of the details, they look amazing. And this is a very unique idea, especially for an ice cream party. So I hope y'all enjoyed this class. If you need any of the products that I showed you in this class tonight, you will be able to purchase them tomorrow on our Etsy store. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you soon.